we're here for the second day. I've cleaned those surfaces off pretty good with the wire brush. I am going to go ahead and hit these exhaust manifold. And so what that's going to do is that's going to cause me to have to get some clean air and blow everything off. That surface doesn't look too bad on the intake side. I scraped it, but I didn't hit it with the wire brush yet. But I'll hit that stuff with the wire brush. I've already done the head. And the head's pretty clean, no cracks. You know, a little bit of, marks on it here and there. But the best I can tell is this head gasket wasn't installed correctly. And this one here is blocked up. Water should be flowing through these ports. This one here is blocked up, and this one was pretty blocked up as well, these ports. And as far as exhaust escaping, hard to tell, but the exhaust was escaping into the water, and I think that's why these all look blown in instead of just being a clean open hole like these other ones where water goes through. So anyways, we're going to follow the instructions and reinstall it with the proper torque specs and all that. And I'm going to put you on the time lapse. And yeah, we're going to get this thing done. Hopefully by the end of the day, we'll be turning it on and seeing if this thing's going to run and overheat, or if it's going to run and not overheat, which is what we're looking for, because it got good AC in this car, good radio. You know, the tires are decent. The exhaust has got a little tone, but not too loud. So this is what I'm looking to be driving to work and back. So let's hope for the best. Alright, I got the instructions here, and I converted Newton meters to foot-pounds. So what we're going to do is we're going to set all of them at 22 for right now. Got to get my adapter. There we go. So I'm going to set each one at 22 following the bolt pattern. And then we're going to go from there. Set the torque wrench real quick. $22 is not a lot, but that's an aluminum head, so what do you expect? Okay. Good. Okay. So there are 5 bolts across each front and rear. So we got to hit this first one for 22. And this head does move around a little bit on the block. I'm not loving that, but it's the way it is. There's 22. And the second middle bolt. There we go. And the third bolt. Yep. And this one should be the next one. Yep. There we go. And it says to jump up to that one. There we go. Then down here. And then it says to jump to this one. So a little bit different than I would have thought, although who knows, but the holes are awfully small for the water passages. So if this is off just a little bit, I can see how it was having that bad head gasket. And I hope this doesn't happen again, but it might. Because putting this head on the block was a little bit jankety. Okay, so that's 10. Now it says to set all to 44. Come on. Okay. Things are going to be difficult today. Bitch. Alright. Okay, that's 42 and 44. And we're still set. Alright. So let's do the whole process again. And you got to remember when you're using a torque wrench, only grab it by the handle. If you grab it from somewhere else, it messes with the rating. Okay. There's 44. There's 44. I'm showing you this process because it's got a little bit more going on than normal once we get to the next step. There's 44. And 44 again. Coming down number 6. There we go. And if they didn't follow the directions to the letter, that might be why this leaks, but we're hoping for the best, really. 8. Coming in for bolt number 9. And then bolt number 10. Okay, now we're setting it to 59 and doing the pattern again. I know, I'll go for 60 on the last pass, don't worry, but 59 is basically the conversion. And that's 59. And I'm gonna come up off this thing. And I can probably get rid of one of these adapters. All right. 59. There we go. This next step after this is where it gets a little interesting.
There's 59. 59. 59. 59. There we go. There we go. There we go. And the last one. This is probably where the last guy stopped. So now the instructions say to loosen each bolt independently, then tighten each bolt back to 59. So, I don't know if I got another 12.5 inch. I want to get it. There we go, I got 12.5 inch for loosening everything. Because I don't want to use my torque wrench to loosen it. You know what I mean? Alright. So, we're starting on this bolt number 3. Alright, loosened. Come on now. Let me get something else. Grab a different ratchet for a little more leverage. Okay, so we loosened it. Now we're going to tighten it back. There we go. Now on to the next one. On. Gotta move this out. Okay, loosened. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and come into time lapse. We're going to do that process for all of them, and then we're going to do one final tightening at 60, and that'll be that. Put it back together. Okay, I got everything put back together. I stripped out one bolt here on the exhaust. It's not surprising, exhaust likes to strip out. I just need to get this throttle bracket hooked up and hook up these spark plug wires. And we're gonna be filling it up with water and hoping for the best. So I'm gonna get that going right now. And if I have to cut the camera, it's only because, oh, didn't put my spark plugs in. It's only because the battery's at 12%, so it probably won't last. Let's go ahead and get this throttle bracket hooked in here. We're gonna need to be able to rev on it, right? Come on, there we go. So I'm not missing any bolts, although this thing was missing some bolts. I didn't put the timing cover back on yet, or the heat shroud for the exhaust, in case the exhaust leaks. This looks like 8mm. Let's get that in. Here's the spark plugs. Get in there. Next. Hopefully this thing's not gonna leak or blow up or do anything other than just run right. That's all I need. Just run the way it ran when I bought it, minus the getting hot and then eventually blowing the head gasket. You're gonna be good to go. Well, we don't have the right tools there. Funny, that exhaust actually had 9mm bolts. I hate when they try to play little games like that. This one's 10mm. Good. We didn't waste too much time on this one because I want to get this car going, man. Okay. And, yep. And, whoop-ah. Okay. Now I gotta get them spark plugs in securely. Now it's gonna be this big boy right here, 13/16. Man, I was beginning to wonder if it ever started. This one cylinder was a little goofy putting it on and taking it off, I mean. So it makes sense that the threads are a little bit weird going back in. Okay, we don't want to go crazy on that one. Looks like I'm going to need the 10mm to hook that up too. There we go. And one more. Dang, these threads, man. Alright, it's beginning to lose hope. Alright. Now we can hook the spark plugs up. I zip tied this spark plug wires together in such a way that I shouldn't be able to hook them up wrong, so that when I came to this point in time, it would just go back together correctly. Let me check my battery. Whew, 4%. I'm gonna cut it here. I'll bring you back. All right, we got this baby charging on the battery pack that I have here, and I think that's gonna work. So I went ahead and bolted this on, and that's all I did off camera. I'm going to fill this thing up with water, and then we're gonna start it, see what happens, hope for the best. Let me get some water and I'll be moving this baby forward. Okay, the camera's still running. All right. So, just get a funnel. There's some water on the ground from when the thermostat housing fell off. So don't be alarmed if there's a little bit of water on the ground when we start checking this stuff. And also, these are oil containers. As long as we don't get water in the oil, getting oil in the water is not that big of a deal to me. Now I'm going to fill this thing up with the proper coolants later. Is that it? Can't be. It's not going so fast because the thermostat's probably closed, so the water can't really circulate in the engine that quick. That's my guess. Anyways, we could probably start it and then just put water in it as it's running. Yeah, because that's just going to keep overflowing like that. That's windshield wiper. We don't want to put oily water in there. And here's the overflow. Overflow's got water in it. We'll check all those levels once it's running. Alright, so we're going to fire it up. Wish me luck. Kind of seems like we don't have ignition, which is weird. What could it be? What could it be? coil wire. Unless this is the coil wire. Ah, we had the wires hooked up wrong. Well, there you go. That'll do it. The O2 sensor wire and the coil wire were switched. Hope that didn't burn anything up. It would have just grounded the coil, so it wouldn't hurt anything, I don't think. What could it be, man? What could it be? Is everything hooked up securely? Here's the be. Do we have a massive vacuum leak somewhere because I forgot to plug something in? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure I got this right now. Is it possible that that could be upside down and the wires are trained this way? The timing couldn't be off because I didn't move the timing. These are plugged in how they're supposed to be. Let's see, do we have is the fuel pump priming? I can't really hear because this fans have to run all the time. Let me disconnect the fans. I think that disconnects the fans. See if we can hear the fuel pump prime up. That only disconnected one fan. So I think we have to disconnect this one this way. Then we're disconnected. What could be the problem? Ah, here we go. This isn't grounded, whatever this is. So we're losing the ground, and I bet you that's the problem. Now where does that bolt into? It bolts off of this looks like it bolts off of this same bracket over here. Alright, let me fix that. Something wasn't grounded. I couldn't tell you what it is, but I can tell you what it's not. It's not letting the car run. 12mm in. I'm glad it's nothing serious yet. Let's just get rid of this for a little while. We're not pulling the engine anyways. And then this one looks like it should go behind. Kind of looks like we could fit both. Let's do it right. I don't want to have to stop to charge the battery. So hopefully this thing's going to fire up now. That looks like 2 grounds. I don't know what they're for, but here we go. So we had a couple of wires wrong. That'll do it every time when you're working on an electronically controlled car. Let's hit it. Not sure she wants to run. Let's give it some motivation. Gotta hook those fans back up. So some oil had snuck down the pistons and stuff when I cleaned it. So we're gonna let it run here. Got a little bit of smoke coming out of there. That'll clear out. So I'm gonna let this thing run for a little while. I'll bring you back if anything develops. I'm gonna go ahead and move the car out to see if anything's gonna leak because there's water and stuff on the ground here. So I'm going to move it to a spot right there on the concrete where there's nothing on the ground yet. That way we can be sure. And then we'll let it run until it starts cycling the water through the radiator at least. And I can speed up the process by turning the AC on. Had to grab that stool so the battery will have a place to sit. See. All right. right, I'm gonna turn the AC on and I'm gonna watch this thing for a while. I'll bring you back when I'm putting the hood back on, if everything goes well. I got the AC running, I got the lights on, putting the load on the engine. It's still burning out steam and oil and stuff from the exhaust that was caught up in there from before when it was pushing water. But we got the cap off. That's the oil from the water that I got out of those oil tanks. But you can see the water circulating. We're not building pressure in the radiator from the compression from the engine, so that's not leaking. So we're going to be coming up on a test drive experience here in a moment. I'm going to let it go a little bit longer. The temperature is running cool, and I got the AC on high and it's charging. Of course, it's not doing the best at charging because we're pulling such a load with everything on. But I don't think I don't think we have a problem here. I think we're good. It seems like steam coming out of the exhaust still, but it's actually quieted down quite a bit. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, I moved the car around the yard and the smoke's cleared out, and we're still burning some oil off of that exhaust manifold, but it doesn't appear to be leaking either. I'm gonna go ahead and put the hood on, and then it'll be time to test drive this baby around the block. I guess I should shut it down and see if any water gets into the oil. But remember, we painted the sides here. I hope you can see that. We painted the sides. That way I'd be able to tell exactly where to line that bracket up. So this should go pretty painlessly, I hope. see if the hood opens and closes properly. Okay. Being cautious here because I don't want it to get stuck. But working good. Alright, I'm going to get changed. I'll be back in a few to take you guys on the test drive. Meanwhile, the GoPro will be charging a little bit. I think everything's good, so fingers crossed. We're going to get this baby back on the road without any major issues. Let's see if there's any water in the oil. Nope, oil looks like oil. Full to the mark, and no chocolate milk. I'll check that again when I come back after changing, and then I'll take you guys for a test drive around the block with the AC blowing and hopefully the heat staying low. Alright, here we are again. I've changed, got my stuff. Just gonna pull this and make sure the oil doesn't look milky. Nope, that's just the new oil that's in it. Okay, well, engine's not even heating up, so that's exactly what we want. Let's go for a test drive. Let's close this hood. After I do my test drive, I'm gonna drive this baby to the fast food. I'll take the camera just in case, but I don't think there's going to be any issues. I think we're going to be good to go here. I mean, I took the time, did the work. Hopefully it pays off. Alright. Sorry about the wind noise though. The camera's going to be picking up some wind noise because I got to drive with this window down so I can hear if anything goes wrong with the motor. So it is what it is, guys. Let's see if we can get this camera arranged some way that's going to give you a view that matters. All right, here you go. This is the temperature gauge, fuel gauge, speedometer, of course, but this is the gauge we're watching. It used to fucking scream all the way to maximum. There we go, getting a little bit of information. Okay, gonna go ahead and get her going here. I'm glad that I cleaned up this whole back area, because now I can actually turn around. That's why I moved that race car a little bit more out of the way, so I could pull this maneuver. And I can leave up this hill going forward instead of in reverse. That squeaking belt sure is annoying, but it's actually the timing belt that's squeaking. I checked it off camera. Oh yeah, that temperature is looking good. We gotta open that for the vent to be on. I'm gonna turn the AC on when I'm driving without you and when I think it's good, but for this trip we're gonna leave the windows down. Well, the one window down. seeing any smoke coming out of the exhaust pipe, so that's good. And also, if there's strong wind noise, sorry about the wind noise. I tore that little muffle thing that goes on the GoPro to quiet the wind noise. It had been ripping slowly from being used on the motorcycle. If I put that timing cover back on, it might quiet that belt noise down a little bit, but it always did squeak. That belt looked to be in very good condition though. It was obviously new. The previous owner had told me that he had changed a head gasket, but I guess he just didn't do it right. Everything else looked clean, looked good. There's some old gas in this gas tank too, but it doesn't appear to be causing any problems. Temperature gauge is barely moved. So if we caused any new problems, at least we fixed the old one, which was overheating. Going to enjoy driving this car back and forth to work. My schedule should be heating up here pretty soon. I should start working more days per week. So hopefully we got this thing going. I was thinking the Fiero was going to do it for me, but the Fiero, it took longer to fix the Fiero than it did to fix this. I should have started on the Mazda, but live and learn, I guess. A head job is a harder job normally, but than changing an intake and carburetor. But the Fiero, it's, you know, it's custom stuff. It's not like factory stuff going on there. Okay, I'm gonna look things over one more time, and then I'm gonna call it good and start trying to drive it. And if anything comes up, you know, I'll post it in the shorts. And if nothing comes up, I'll probably still make some kind of a short stuff, a 0 to 60 and the Rusty Pass I still need to do on this car. So thanks for watching, like and subscribe. I hope you enjoyed the video.